TFNN.com.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Friday morning, 60 minutes to go until that opening bell, and we got markets starting in positive territory to kick things off. S&P's positive by 20 points right now, trading at 33.49. Zooming in on the action, we made highs pre-market at about 33.63 in the S&P's at about 6 a.m. Eastern time. The last couple hours pulled back a bit, but still strong territory. Nasdaq Futures right now up 64 points, or about 0.6% in the green. Quite a sell-off for the markets yesterday. We'll see what Friday has to bring. Dow Jones up 117 points, currently trading 27,543. You got the Russell up 8 points as well, 1511. Over to commodities, some red on the board in the commodity sector. Crude oil off 22 cents at 37.07. We got natural gas off 3 pennies at 2.29. Gold contract backing off a bit, off about $11 at 19.52. Silver off 33 cents right now, trading at 26.95. We'll jump over to the VIX this morning. Volatility index pulling back a bit as we get a bit of a rise in the market, 28.30. Pretty interesting action yesterday as you had the market selling off. The VIX did elevate, but only to a level of about 30. Far cry from where we were, whether it was, last week, last Friday, the market sell-off, we reach a high of 38.28. Now, put things in correlation, okay? You see where the VIX was on last week, Friday, 38.28, okay? And you see where we are now. Now, put that in correlation to the market. When you jump over to the S&P, there's Friday's action, folks. We're right where we were, literally right where we were. The lows of Friday, 33.47. Check it out, folks. We're trading at 33.47, but you got a VIX trading at 28 as opposed to 38. Not sure why there is so much less fear priced into this market when we've had that pull-off, but nonetheless, that's where we are right now with the VIX trading at 28.30. S&P's up about 17 points. All right, jumping around to what we have going on. A somber day in American history as we have 9/11, folks. 19 years ago, 9/11 terrorist attacks. They will have memorials going on in New York City. I believe at 9:20, there'll be a 10-minute moment of silence to commemorate those attacks. A little bit of a different look, of course, with the pandemic going on this year. All right, back to stocks. Earnings-wise, Peloton last night, talk about crushing it out of the park, folks. Sales surge 172% and pretty strong guidance. Not a lot of companies providing guidance into fiscal year 2021, but Peloton is, and they got some big guidance at that. Fourth quarter sales surged 172%. With such strong demand for its bike and treadmill, it said it doesn't expect a return to normalized order to delivery windows in the U.S. before the end of the fiscal second quarter. The outlook for the first quarter and fiscal 2021 sales also far exceeded the expectations. Getting into the numbers, we'll pull it down. Come on, there we are. Earnings, 27 cents versus 10. Revenue, 607 million versus 582 expected. A profit of 89 million compared to a loss of 47 million a year ago. It ended the quarter with more than 1.09 million connected fitness subscribers, up 113%, and roughly 3.1 million members in total, including those who only pay for its digital subscription. Connected fitness subscribers are people who pay $39 a month to sync workout classes to their Peloton equipment versus accessing programs separately through phone or tablet and paying just $12.99. How about those gross margins? 47.6%. Remarkable. Now, here's the big one that I saw, at least. We'll get into it. Peloton said fiscal first quarter sales should fall within the range of 720 to 730 million. The expectation was only 506 million. When you talk about the fiscal 2021 sales, how about 3.5 to 3.65 billion, which at the midpoint of the range would be 96% from a year earlier, and the expectation was only 2.7 billion. So the expectation was for fiscal 2021 sales of 2.7 billion, and they're going to beat that they're estimating, but that's their outlook, by almost 30% in terms of taking in 3.5 to 3.65. Big numbers. Now, earlier in the week, they launched 2 new items. They talked about a treadmill. They talked about a lower. Their main bike is going to come down in price, and then they're going to have a more premium bike that they'll have with a rotating screen. Analysts expect that should bode well for the business moving forward. The new bike, which retails for almost $2,500, already for sale. The less expensive tread, which will retail for the same price, almost $2,500, is coming to the UK at the end of this year, US and Canada early next year, Germany later next year. The original bike dropped to $1,895 from $2,245. Still quite a price tag. The pricier and original treadmill, Tread Plus, how about $4,295? The exercise equipment business, folks, it is a good business to be in, and Peloton shares are showing it overnight. There you see the pop on their earnings. We settled at about $96 after their earnings call overnight. You did trade above 100 briefly. You're back below that level right now, trading at about $97.61 for Peloton, backing it up on the daily. Quite the acceleration from $17 at the COVID lows. We were trading at about $30 pre-COVID, and we're up near $100 on their earnings. All right, what else we got on earnings? Oracle out with their numbers, strong numbers. We're trading near $60 right now. We'll pull up the 15-minute chart in a moment, but you see the acceleration on Oracle. There's your pop on their numbers, up to 60.50. We're right near that number right now. Jumping over to Oracle. Increased revenue in the quarter and topped estimates after sales declined in the prior period. Getting into the numbers, 93 cents a share for earnings, 86 cents was the estimate. Revenue-wise, they beat as well, $9.37 billion. The market was looking for about $9.19. Revenue growing by 2% on an annualized basis, compared with 6.3% decline in the prior quarter. And as they say, business was only briefly interrupted by the pandemic. Not bad, right? Cloud services and license support segment. That produced a majority of the revenue. Sales increased 2% to $6.95 billion. Market was looking for $6.93. Cloud license and on-premise license segment came in at $886 million. Estimate was $749. They announced managed cloud regions of data center equipment and services can be located in customers' data centers for a monthly fee. So you're going to start seeing that managed cloud regions of data center equipment. So you're going to be able to actually house those in-house and then have the data centers manage them for a monthly fee. Nonetheless, Oracle shares trading up near almost $60 this morning on that news. Jumping around to some of the FANG stocks this morning, we get the Nasdaq NQ Futures up about 55 points right now. Amazon shares up a bit to about 31.98. Microsoft shares from 205 to about 207. We were at almost 210 overnight. Apple up to about 114.39. Facebook shares this morning up to 270 from 268. Netflix shares up to 486. Jumping around to some of my favorite stocks, Disney shares, quite the volatility yesterday, up to almost 137, back to 133. Yeah, the ride-hailing companies having quite a week, from $31.55 last Friday. We're trading right now up almost $5 from that week of trading to $36.28. Lyft, not quite as well, but definitely higher on the week as well. And some of those cannabis stocks, you had Canopy teaming up with Martha Stewart yesterday, spiking to 17.07. We're back to about 16.46. Stay tuned, folks. We're coming right back after the break, see what else we have on tap for Friday trading. We'll be right back.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The gold report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the gold report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, JDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the gold report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's right now positive by 15. Nasdaq Futures positive by 41. You get the Dow positive by 84 points. Jumping around to other stocks with action this morning, we had Chewy out with their numbers last night. Last time I checked, pretty close to even after a little bit of volatility. The move came after Chewy reported new sales per active customer of $356, which was below. They were looking for $365. Quarterly revenue at $1.7 billion. Versus 1.64. So they took in a little bit more money than the market was looking for, but in terms of per customer, I mean, quite a price tag, right? For every customer they get. And dog food, not cheap, but dog food, every customer, $365. And to my producer, my head's getting cut off. Could you please fix that for me? Thank you. Chewy shares of the online food retailer dipped 0.9% after the bell. The move came after Chewy reported sales per active customer. Jumping over to their stocks, CHWY, $58.77, so off a little bit lower from about $60 last night, $58.77 on their earnings. All right, what else we got going on? Jumping around. Dave & Buster's with their numbers as well. Play is their symbol, PLAY. Reported a bigger than expected drop in comp sales, which sent the stock down more than 5%. In after-hours trading, the company said its comp store sales dropped 87% on a year-over-year basis in the second quarter. Analysts pulled by FactSet expected a drop of 79.1%, so a little bit better than they were looking for. Overall revenue for the previous quarter, how about $50 million versus $78 million, to see how that is playing out. There you go. Quite a drop initially, but up a bit, up to about 1781 there on their numbers. All right, what else we got going on? Rio Tinto. So they are dealing with quite an ordeal over there. Top executives stepping down after a review of an Australia cave blast. So Rio Tinto said on Friday that their CEO would step down in the wake of quote-unquote mounting dissatisfaction over the findings of an internal review. Process to identify a successor is underway. He will continue in that role until the replacement is found, or March 31st. Nonetheless, Rio Tinto, I believe it's just Rio is their symbol, R-I-O. Whoops. Yeah, so there it is, catching a little bit of pop on that news, up to about 62.52 this morning from about under 61 on that news. So Lululemon, they get a price target lift from Morgan Stanley, but rated an equal weight as valuation appears stretched. So Lulu, price target raised to $320 from $306, but gave the stock an equal rate at Morgan Stanley, who said that they revised the guidance on compelling long-term growth opportunities. Lulu, of course, out with their numbers this week, backing off a bit. Strong numbers for sure, but the stock is just priced for a lot of growth, folks. Check out that acceleration from 128 up to 399.90 within about 10 cents. Didn't quite make it there, backing off to about 320 this morning on that news on Lulu. And Tesla shares looking to open a little bit higher. Jump over to Tesla. Quite the volatility for Tesla recently. Tesla from 371, we're up at about 383. We'll put it on a 15-minute to see the action we have. Last week, Friday, we were up at about 420, down to 308 on Tuesday. And just like that, we've gained an $80. I mean, you're talking about 25% maybe from where we were just early Tuesday as the volatility continues on Tesla shares. All right, what else we got going on, folks? Next week, we got our man, Basil Chapman. He's going to be in the saddle Wednesday for an all-day webinar, the Chapman Wave Methodology, the technical tools based on the Chapman Wave methodology explained live, a detailed all-day online course. You can check that out on the front page of TFNN. Basil will be kicking things off at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. He'll have a session from 9 till noon, take a break for lunch. He'll get in there again from 1 till 4. He'll wrap things up from 4 till 4:30 with a review and prepare. Basically, he's going to be going over everything that he does, folks, in terms of his methodology with the Chapman Wave. When you sign up, you'll get an emailed booklet of the Chapman Wave techniques. You also gain a month of his daily newsletter, The Opening Call, $128 value. If you're a current subscriber, your next month will be free as well, so you incur that value as well. And what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to show you real quick the webinars that Opening Call subscribers gain access to. So this is part of the Opening Call. If you just sign up for the Opening Call, I mean, look at the subscriber webinars. Basil just did one back in July talking about what chart formations that worked in the first half of 2020 to work in the second half. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 webinars that you gain access to just as part of the Opening Call, along with, of course, the webinar on Wednesday coming up. That's a 7-hour webinar that will be archived if you can't attend live. Check that out, $395. And, of course, you get the $128 value for the Opening Call. Great webinar. Basil always does a great job, so check that out on the front page of TFNN.com. All right, what else we got going on? Checking over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, pretty tame week. I mean, last week we had some volatility for Bitcoin, talking about cryptos. There's your rise to 12,635, that high on August 17th. The real sell-off begins on September 2nd. Talk about a sell-off from 12,000. And that's really when the market started escalating to did we make it to the 9s? Yes, 98.90 on September 8th. And we're up a bit to there, 10,295. All right, checking in on the bond market right now. We got notes and bonds. A little bit of higher price. The 10-year right now up about 1 tick. The 30-year up 6 ticks. When you put it on a daily, we've been oscillating right at around this 139.22 for a while, folks. A little bit of volatility, but pretty interesting that we're within about 7 ticks right now of where we were, 139.15 on that 10-year. We're looking at a 10-year yield right now of about 0.68%. Pretty remarkable action on that 10-year. Checking in on the VIX this morning again, and there you see the spikes, right? So we had our spike in early June when we traded to a market high and then sold off. We've seen another spike now, and as I just went over, I mean, interesting action when you look at, whoops, what did I just do? Interesting action when you put this on the short-term basis of where we were on the S&Ps. We're still sitting at 33.47. Remarkable that that's literally to the point, the low that we had last Friday. But somehow the VIX has said, you know what, we were charging a lot of premium last week, but this week we're charging a lot less premium. We're talking about 28 versus 38 in the S&Ps at the same exact level of where we were in those market lows. Nonetheless, I mean, we're talking about an election. It's September 11th, of course, right now. And days until election, I'm pulling it up right now, 54, 53, where are we? 53 days, folks, until the presidential election. You're going to see some volatility come in, whether it's a month out, a couple weeks out, the night of. Some point, that volatility is coming in, folks. Get ready for it, because it's going to be coming in spades, as they say. All right, what else we got going on? Checking around to some of the other stocks with action, as I mentioned. Disney had the volatility yesterday. We're basically flat. Checking in on Peloton again ahead of the open, 98.14. It'll be interesting to see where Peloton charges to. Quite a revenue beat. When you're talking about fiscal year, they might take in $3.5 to $3.6 billion. And the market was only looking for 2.7. Their churn, right? Remarkable. Let me see if I can back up and find their churn, because they are losing less than 1% of their active subscribers on a monthly basis. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after the break.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's right now positive by 16, Nasdaq positive by 50, Dow positive by 94. Checking out Asia overnight, you had Asia Nikkei positive by about 0.7%, Shanghai positive by about 0.8 as well. Over in Europe, DAX basically flat, just slipping into the negative by less than 0.1%. You get the FTSE up by about 0.3%. CAC Carol up by about CAC Carol we'll call flat as well. What else we got going on? Let's check it out in terms of the stocks we talked about with earnings. We'll see how they all open. Peloton shares holding steady at about 97.70. You have Oracle positive as well. Oracle almost making pre-market highs to about 60 this morning on their earnings last night. Chewy shares 58.75, backing off a bit on their numbers, and Dave & Buster trading at about 17.81 right now on their numbers. Jumping around to commodities, gold contract, as we said, backing off a bit, 1954 this morning, did make it to an overnight low last night at about 11 o'clock last night, that low of 1944. We were up to about 1975 last night. Silver contract right at $27. Platinum, 937. We made it to 947 yesterday. Palladium shares down about 13, trading at 23.17, putting Palladium. How about it on a daily? 23.17, the highs back in March of 27.89. Talk about a sell-off to about 13.55. All right, checking into some of the FANG stocks as we wrap up the program. Amazon shares, putting it back on a 15-minute, trading at about 31.99. Microsoft shares, we'll see what happens. The news out yesterday that President Trump not going to delay the TikTok deadline. Microsoft trading at about 207. We were up at almost 215 at the beginning of the day yesterday. Apple shares trading at about 114. Walmart, we'll jump around to some of the staples. Why not? Walmart, they might be teaming up with Microsoft to buy TikTok. What quite an interesting time we live in. Walmart to about 137. Target shares trading at about 146. We got to jump over to Restoration Hardware. Quite the day yesterday to 410, backing off a bit to about 382 on Friday trading. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got our man Larry Pesavento. He's coming up live next with Trade What You See for that market open. Stay tuned, folks. Larry will be back. We'll be back in 3 minutes.